Alright, I'm going to do a video talking about my thoughts and my hopes for Nintendo's next console that they are probably working on by now and maybe close to announcing by the middle of this year, I would think. That's my guess, but I'm going to talk about what I think Nintendo should do and what I'm pretty confident that they will do with it. And I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on stuff like this. If you guys like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, put the notification bell for all notifications so you know if I want to upload new videos. Without further ado, let's get into this video and just shoot the breeze about Nintendo. So, I've been hearing a lot of rumors and talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, the Super Switch, whatever they're going to call this, the next console. And I debate on whether or not I want to do a video like this on it because I'm not an insider. I don't know anything about the video game industry. I just know what kind of stuff I've seen in the past that Nintendo and other companies have done, and what I've heard from other people that are pretty reputable in the gaming space that I tend to look to for information and stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about my own takes on some of this stuff that I've heard. One thing I want to make abundantly clear that Nintendo needs to do is they need to market this the same way they did the Switch. And by that I mean have a very, very good marketing campaign. Get your point across what the console does, what it is, what kind of features it has, all that good stuff. And do not do the same thing you did with the Wii to the Wii U. Because no one knew what the hell the Wii U was. That's why it flopped. That's why it failed. That's why it didn't do that well. The Wii U wasn't a bad system. It just wasn't marketed well because people thought it was an add-on for the Wii. And I can attest to this because I've heard multiple people ask that at different stores and flea markets I've been to over the past years that the Wii U's been out. So marketing is the biggest thing that will help Nintendo sell just as many consoles as the Switch has, or I'm assuming they're going to want to sell more than that. But that's what they need to do. Work on their marketing. Make sure you market it well enough to so people know what it is and you get your point across so people aren't confused about what it is and what it does. And the other thing that I want to talk about as well is something that people don't think is going to be a thing with this console, and that's backwards compatibility with the Switch. That I think will happen because just by the sheer amount of Switch consoles and games that have sold worldwide, it just wouldn't make sense for them not to have backwards compatibility with the Switch. Yeah, I know the PS4 wasn't backwards compatible with the PS3, but that's different. I think the architecture inside the PS3 from the PS4 was way different, I think. And that's part of the reason why they weren't doing backwards compatibility with PS3 games, unless you count the PlayStation Plus stuff. But anyway, that's them. That's Sony. That's not Nintendo. Nintendo's always kind of been like pro backwards compatibility. Hell, look at the Nintendo DS and DS Lite. That had backwards compatibility with the Game Boy Advance, and that was still pretty old at the time when the DS Lite came out. I think the DS Lite came out in 2007, I think. And by then, like the Game Boy Advance Micro was already done. So the fact that they still wanted people to play their Game Boy Advance games on their DS, and of course the DSi didn't have it, but I don't think the DSi even had a cartridge slot. Anyway, it was a digital only then, I'm pretty sure. One of the DSIs was, I'm pretty sure. If it wasn't, my bad. I don't know that much about the DSI. But in any case, I think Nintendo will do backwards compatibility with the Switch 2 or the next console, whatever it's going to be, just because it would make sense. Because one, there's a lot of games that would benefit from like upscaling and just better performance, maybe. Now, will they do that? I don't know. I think they will, judging by what I've heard, because I've heard at one of the video game like conferences behind closed doors, a version of Breath of the Wild running in 4K was shown. Now, is that true? I have no idea. There's no video proof of it. There's no pictures of it. There's just multiple articles talking about it, as well as that Matrix demo that was released that showed off like the power of the PS5 or whatever. That Unreal Engine 5, I think it was, like tech demo thing. That was apparently shown off too. Do I believe that? That one I'm like more skeptical on because I don't think it would be as powerful as the PS5 per se. Maybe PS4 Pro would be more online. And I hate when people say, "Oh, well, Nintendo, that they need to make it as powerful as the current gen consoles." Nintendo's never done that ever in their entire existence. They have never done like something that was just as powerful as their competition. Besides, like the GameCube, because I think the GameCube was more powerful than the PS2. I think when it came to like video support and stuff like that, like progressive scan and stuff. I think, and I know the Xbox was the strongest of those, but my point is Nintendo doesn't really care about power and stuff anymore. They just do their own thing. But I do think they see the writing on the wall with the Switch. You can only push that hardware so much. Like the Switch has pretty much reached its limit. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is a pretty good indication of what the Switch can do, and when it gets pushed to its limits, Tears of the Kingdom does kind of slog down a little bit when there's a lot of stuff going on. Same thing with like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. That as well. But Tears of the Kingdom is a really gorgeous game and it shows the Switch's power off. But it also shows that the Switch is very aging in hardware. And we need a hardware change. Now, rumors said way back when the OLED Switch was announced that the OLED Switch was supposed to be like the Switch Pro or like the Switch Refresh. Basically a Switch Pro, but they just couldn't get the parts together or it wouldn't make financial sense. Something like that. I don't remember what exactly the reasoning was, but it was something to that effect. Now, is that true? I have no idea. I never talked about it because I never believed in the Switch Pro rumors, but there are people that die on the hill that it existed, and the Switch OLED became. That's what that was supposed to be. It became the Switch OLED instead of the Switch Pro. Which I mean, the OLED's nice, like the screen's nice. Don't get me wrong, but like it's not really that big of a deal. And I guess the OLED dock is nice with the Ethernet capability, which should have been in the original dock in the first place, but whatever, it wasn't. Um, but yeah, the last thing I can think about to really hone in on is the fact that the Joycons need work. Like they're just they're bad. I don't like the Joycons. I I know people that do like the Joy-Cons. I know a lot of people that don't like the Joy-Cons. It's like split down the middle. There's people that do like them and don't like them. I don't because I think they're small. I think the analog sticks aren't super great. I think the D-pad or the directional buttons are kind of bad. Um, I just think it's overall just a bad idea because they also have issues with Joy-Con drift or basically stick drift, basically. And every controller has this problem. Even the PS5 and PS4 and stuff have that problem. But the Switch really had like a huge outbreak of that problem a couple years ago. I forget when it was like first coming out when Joy-Con drift was a thing. Because they were doing like free replacements. You could send in your Joy-Cons and get brand new ones. So that's how bad it was. Nintendo was actually giving out replacements. I don't think they do that anymore, but I think they've learned from like the whole lawsuit thing and just the way the Joy-Cons work that they need to do better with the analog sticks. Maybe put Halifax joysticks in there. I don't know. Who knows if they're gonna do that? But make the controller better. Or I've always said, I've said this 1,000 times, never on video, I don't think. And if I have, people probably ignored what I said, but I still stand by this with the Switch. I think what they should have done with the Switch and what they should do with the newer console, whatever it's going to be, is just sell the freaking tablet and dock by itself. Let us choose if we want to buy Joy-Cons. If that'll keep the cost down of the console at launch, instead of being like 450, let it be like 400 or something like that, then yeah, let me do that. Because I don't think this is going to be a $500 console. I really don't. I think it'll be 450 max, 400 at the least. But I think 400 would be if they didn't include Joy-Cons or whatever they're going to be. I think they're still going to be called Joy-Cons. They're probably going to be called like Super Joys or Super Cons or something. I don't know. Whatever they call the Switch successor, they're going to still use the Joy-Con moniker, I think. But they're going to have better joysticks, I hope. But I've always said that I think they should have sold the Joy-Cons and the Joy-Con grip separately because honestly, the only time I ever used my Joy-Cons ever was when I got my first Switch, and that's all I had. I didn't have a Pro Controller yet. But then once I got my Pro Controller, I was like, well, I'm never using these again. And I barely ever did. Until I got like Clubhouse games or like Nintendo Switch Sports. That's like the only times I've ever used my Joy-Cons. But yeah, overall, that's what I think should happen with the Switch successor. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think it's going to happen this year? Think it'll be next year? What do you want to see with it? What are your hopes? What are your fears about it? Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the Patreon if you do. It really helps out the channel a lot. It's only $1 a month. That's all I ask. It really does help out a lot. I want to stress that enough because I'm looking to get more equipment and stuff in the future because I want to better my setup. But I really need you guys to support my channel for that to happen. So hopefully I get more support within the next few months because I really want to get a new graphics card, better my setup and stuff like that, so I can do more streaming and stuff like that for you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for supporting. Shout out to go to my Patreon supporters: Matt Y99, Reaper 7734, Tato Cal, AJ Gatto, Oliver Frederick, Zoe Adfrey, It's Me, Charlize, Joe, William Swift, Griff 17, Charlie McKean, Reverse Security, Zoo Hall, Preliab, Just Drew, Arnie saying Lee Barney, Benjamin Town, Matt Losaro, Freddie Ladd, and Big Gomez. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you guys did enjoy my content, please subscribe and click the bell button as well. Anyway, that'll be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.